if you really think about it, a lot of world history has revolved around neurological and mental illness. If you look at very famous dictators, very famous people in history, many of them have had neurological disease. And in fact, in my opinion, it's really mental illness that drives a lot of our history. Many people think, for example, that people like Hitler had bipolar disorder, or we know, for example, that Adolf Hitler had Parkinson's, and which in many ways may have led to his demise. Alexander the Great had epilepsy. And so if you really look at historical figures, many of them were suffering probably from mental illness. We know of famous artists who had severe depression, for example. And so if you feel that you're having these symptoms or you're having these disorders, you're not alone. Many of us, probably 90% of us, have experienced some form of mental illness during our lives, but perhaps it wasn't so severe that it was disruptive. So just around the holidays, people experience depression. It's very, very common. And you do not have to be ashamed. You do not have to be embarrassed. You do not have to feel that you're alone if you're experiencing these symptoms of depression. What's even more interesting is that, by and large, patients, reach for a medication. They're offered a medication to treat these conditions, but it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, if you look at the actual efficacy of medications, if you look at the absolute improvement from medications, just depression alone, it's 20%. Now, I know that there are psychiatrists out there, there are many doctors who disagree with me on that. They say, no, it's more like 40%, more like 70%. But if you look at the data and remove the placebo effect, subtract the placebo effect, meaning the effect where people think they're getting better, but they're actually not, there's only between 20 and 30% actual absolute improvement. So the reason I'm saying that is that there's a huge need for better treatments. So TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation, is near and dear to my heart because I've seen it improve people's lives dramatically. I've even had my own family members apply TMS safely and very effectively. So I encourage you to learn more. TMS stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation. It involves electromagnetic pulses, and it's extremely effective when done properly.